Welcome to this video, which works with upper back spinal mobility. I'm going to work especially with the Warrior 2 or Virabhadrasana 2 positions in this video. To begin with, let's warm the legs and the hips up and the spine and the upper back muscles with Utkatasana flowing with a spinal twist. So through the length of the legs, lots of space, hip joints, knee joints, heels, just allowing the weight to be nice and even through the feet, from the heels through towards the toes. I'm going to draw up through the thigh muscles then, lifting up in the fronts of the legs. See if we can feel a pick up through the leg muscles between the heels and the sitting bones. And then legs staying nice and strong, we just allow the tailbone to sink. Just imagining the tailbone growing heavy, sinking down in the direction of the space between the heels. And gradually as the tailbone sinks down, the front of the hips usually picks up and the waist lengthens. We can let the knees gently extend again, drawing up through the gluteal muscles, drawing up through the leg muscles, and feeling, once again, the crown of the head floating towards the ceiling, towards the sky even. And the breastbone just sinks downwards a little bit, helping the upper spine and the neck to elevate and to lengthen. Let's begin with Urdhva Hastasana. We breathe in and the arms flow up. We stretch through the sides of the waist and the ribs, right up into the crown. We might let the fingertips touch. And on the exhalation, the arms release down. So again, as we're breathing in, lots of length through the waist, through the ribs, gently looking up and breathing out to release down. And as we work with this, really letting your breath begin to move, allowing the muscles around the chest to open, allowing the spine to release and lengthen, and keeping the strength of the legs threading up into the pelvis, because we're going to need them in a second for the Utkatasana that I said we were starting with. So we're going to breathe in to lengthen up here. We hold on to the strength in the legs, and let's breathe out to let the hands come into Namaste. We can breathe in here, breathe out here. And once again, we breathe in, thread the leg strength up into the pelvis, release through the spine, exhalation, the arms come down. So breathing in, legs strong, spine opening, breath opening, exhalation, hinging at the hip, move from the hip first, keep the spine really tall, the knees follow, the weight goes into the heels slightly and the knees stay back behind the toes. An inhalation here, an exhalation here, and an inhalation to flow up. Exhalation to release. Let's work it through like this once more, breathing in, moving at the hip first, hinge back, keep the spine moving out and up towards the crown of the head, abdominal muscles stay powerfully lifted, an in-breath, an exhalation. As we're ready, an inhalation and an exhalation. So this round we're going to add in the spinal twist. So we breathe in, flow up, breathing out, coming down. As you're ready, inhalation, the arms flow up. Then we're going to work on keeping the lower waist square. Exhalation, we twist to the right and the arms flow with us. Inhalation, coming up. Exhalation, we twist to the left, upper spine, ribs, waist a little bit. Breathing in, back to the center. Exhalation, we flow back, so this part of our back stays really long. Breathing in, breathing out, this side only. Breathing out, breathing in, flowing up, and breathing out to release. Just a breath or two here. We're going to flow it through again. And then as you're ready, breathing in, leg strength threading up. Spine really open, breath dives deep, hinging from the hip. We come in, abdominal muscles strong, really stretch the spine, tailbone to crown. Let's breathe in. Let's flow to the left as we breathe out. Breathing in to come up and back. Keep the pelvis square behind you. Both sitting bones reaching back. Exhalation to the left. Inhalation, center. Exhalation. Inhalation. We come on up. And exhalation. Namaste. 2 or 3 breaths just to recover here, to let the exhalation lengthen, and to again release height through the upper spine, into the neck, into the crown. And then as you're ready, we're going to come into the Virabhadrasana, the warrior two position. So let's breathe in, breathe out, and we'll step back and along the mat into a wide leg position. And in this position then, let's just think about our warrior legs. So we're going to draw up through the kneecaps, muscles on the fronts of the thighs and the insides of the legs. We're aiming to feel that lift from the heels right through the backs of the legs into the sitting bones. And then with our back leg, let's say the left leg, we're going to revolve it in using the muscles at the top of the leg to turn the leg in. Outside edge of the foot rolls into the mat, arch lifts. Front leg, we're pulling up through the thigh muscles, especially we use the gluteal muscles, muscles at the top of the outside of the leg to turn out. And the foot comes down, heel, ball of foot, pad of little toe, even weight. Toes stretching, toe joint stretching. Then as we're ready, we're going to breathe into here, we breathe out to come into our lunge. So we need to keep both legs lengthening away from the hip joints. It's harder to lengthen the back leg away, but really aim to get from your hip joint towards your knee, towards your heel, lengthening back, lunging in the front leg. Outside edge of the foot rolls into the floor, arch lifts, keep the knee pulling up. Legs are strong. We're going to breathe in here, releasing this rear side of the trunk in the position. Here we are, warrior two. Upper spine really spiraling, shoulders releasing, and neck lengthening up out of the spine in the back of the ribcage. So a couple of breaths here, keeping the legs strong, keeping the spine free. And as you're ready, drawing up through the leg muscles on an in-breath. So pull up through the gluteal muscles on the front leg to help you out. In-breath, out-breath to come center. So let's head over to the other side. And when we really lift lots of strength up into the leg muscles before we start, breathing in, our new back leg revolves from the top, front leg revolves from the top, outside edge arch lifted, whole foot down and even, and as you breathe out, hold on to that strength, lengthening especially through the inside of the back leg. It can shuffle away if it needs to, just moving down as you open the thighs away from the hip joints. So the leg muscles are strong, it shouldn't feel too tiring to stay here, and we breathe in. Now as this rear side really opens away from the front side, avoid the knee coming in, keeping the thigh muscles wrapping, spine nice and tall, shoulders open, and the neck lengthening from out of the spine in the back of the ribcage. Couple of breaths here. And as you're ready again, we're going to breathe in, pulling up through the gluteal muscles on the front leg, pulling up through the leg muscles, both legs, return center, breathing out to come back. Good, well done. So let's come into warrior two again this time, and we're going to add in a little Parivriti Virabhadrasana at the same time, a revolved warrior. So leg muscles are nice and strong, revolving inwards, revolving outwards, foot positions in place. Breathing out, we find our lunge warrior with Namaste arms. Breathing in, we find our Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Breathing. Now from here, this time we're going to breathe in, breathe out, rotate the back arm and bring the hand onto the sacrum. Then with the front side of the body, it's not just the arm, it's the whole spine lengthening. Lift up through this front waist, lift up through the side of the ribcage, let your spine lift. Engage the abdominal muscles through the lower abdomen midsection. And you're reaching up, spines are opening out of the pelvis, no sinking. Keep the spaces around the sacrum and the base of the spine free, but really feel your upper chest opening and stretching. Keep breathing. Once again, we're going to reach up, pull up through the glutes on the front leg for support. And breathing out, we come center and Namaste. Good. A breath or two just to release. And then we're going to move into our second side. So leg muscles really strong, trying up. Back leg revolves from the top, front leg revolves out from the top, feet positions. Out breath, we lengthen through the back leg, prioritize it because it's harder. And the front leg also lunges. Leg muscles stay strong. And as you're ready, our Virabhadrasana 2, arms, keeping this rear side opening, breathing, a couple of breaths here. And then as you're ready, the movement begins. You see it in the arms, but it's actually from the spine. So we lift the waist out of the hips, free up the position of the sacrum where the hips and the spine join. We bring our rear arm onto the sacrum, and then we're lifting up through the waist, not just the arm. Lifting up through the ribs, not just the arm. Lifting up in the muscles in front of the tailbone, lower abdomen, midsection, so you can really open the spine and you still feel lots of space in the sacrum. There's no real leaning back. I'm lifting up from out of the position I was in before. Keep breathing, keep threading the leg strength up into your pelvis. We breathe, and then again, lots of energy upper arm. We breathe in, pull up through the glutes on the front leg. Out breath, we come back to the center. Namaste. And then let go. So let's bring our legs in towards each other and release our lower backs with a forward bend. So we can work with Uttanasana, narrow-legged forward bend. If you did the first video in the series, then you probably have already stretched your hamstrings a little bit. But if not, you might think, because we haven't stretched them yet, the sequence, that you're going to work with a little bit of support to help you in, or you might be very flexible and not need that support, but just check with how you're actually feeling and avoiding putting too much strain on the lower back. So now, ideally, in a forward bend, it's not just all about going with gravity, head and shoulders going towards the earth, but it's a lot about really actively lengthening back towards our tailbone, lengthening into the pelvis to stretch the spine in that direction. And then the waist opens in the opposite direction as well, from the hips towards the ribs, towards the head. Letting the collarbones be open again, upper back broad and open, and shoulder blades move back in the direction of the sitting bones. Abdominal muscles really strong and lifted, navel draws to the spine. You can always soften with the knees. Let the spine lengthen over the front of the tailbone sacrum. Collarbones open, shoulder blades move down the back. So you feel the space in the upper spine as well in the forward bends. And just so often I think people in the forward bends are really huddled through the neck and the shoulders, and it's such a shame really, because we have the opportunity also to release that part of the spine. So last breath or two here, with or without support of the blocks or bricks. And then once again, as you're ready, the knees bend, sitting bones tuck under. We're going to roll up through our spines, all the way back up to the top, like that. Tadasana. So spending a moment to just check in with our bodies, to check in with that length and breadth and depth of space that is the physical body. And also the energy and the quality of the energy that is there at present. And sometimes there's a very vivid sense of our own energy, our life coming from out of our own space. And that's important just to feel and acknowledge tight. So then we're going to have a look at the warrior 2, but revolved. So that means revolved, might mean in some ways involved. But let's see how we get on. So once again, we're going to come into that wide-legged position. It'll be the same legs and initially that very similar position through the body. But as we come into the lunge and the revolved warrior, we're going to just a little bit have to sweep the hips around, sweep the ribs around, and the movement will open out from there. So let's give that a go, but properly. So we're going to draw up through the leg muscles, at the front and at the back, through the inside legs. Just check in that the tailbone's diving down again, and the spine's really tall. You can breathe in. Lots of energy from the earth through the whole body. Namaste, center. So breathing in, the legs revolve. First the back leg, then the front leg from the top. Leg muscles wrapping around the thigh bones, so we're strong. Back leg really opens away. Feet positions that we practiced, feet strong. Then the pelvis needs to just swivel forwards a little bit. Back heel might release a little bit, but still keep your arch lifted. And then we're looking for lots of mobility through the upper spine here. Once again, as you're ready, we're breathing in, opening the arms front and back. So they don't open as well here. We're keeping the base of the spine pretty tall. Breathing, breathing, and then your back arm sweeps forward and along the line of your front thigh, reaching up. We pull up through the legs and back to the center. Namaste. So then, again, as you're ready, off to the second side. So leg muscles thread up. In fact, let's just breathe in. And then breathing out back to Namaste center. Breathing in, the back leg revolves from the top, front leg revolves from the top, foot position. So we're coming into the lunge in just a little bit. Keep the back knee strong. If you need to, release that back heel a little bit. As we come into that lunge, we're spiraling on around to the other side. And then once again, we open the arms front and back as best you can, but they're not as open as in the first position. So we breathe there, spine as tall as possible, keep lifting the top of the breastbone to the sky, really breathe. And then the back arm sweeps around past the front thigh, brushing past it, spine lengthens upwards, pulling up through the legs, back to the center. Namaste. Good. So before we go to the second side, let's just release the legs. We're going to go, when we go to the second side, we're coming again the way we did. Open, hand comes to the hip, and then lifting up. So it's a bit of a different lengthening through the outside of the hip this time. We'll go to the first side first there, and then as we're ready, off we go. So once again, the legs are really strong, lifting their strength up into the pelvis. Breathing in, whole spine lengthens. Breathing out, we center. Namaste. Let's bring the legs in, revolving from the top, turning out from the top, and then coming into the lunge, feet strong, letting the pelvis flow with us a little bit there, all the way through, and then opening the arms again, front and back. So from here, lots of weight into that front foot, and we let the back arm come onto the sacrum, pressing it down. And then from here, the arm is moving up, but it's the waist that lifts, ribs that lift, whole spine lifts, reaching up into that position. Breathing really tall here, keep breathing. And again, we keep lengthening up, pull up through the gluteal muscles on that front leg. Back arm releases back with us, and out breath, away again. So second side, as you're ready. Breathing in, lots of height through the body, arms flow up. Breathing out, namaste. Breathing in, we let the legs revolve. Feet positions, legs strong, remembering to release that back leg. We're moving into the lunge, and just before it closes, we let the back hips swing through with us a little. We spiral, especially it's the upper spine that must spiral here. The lower back's not going to do too much. Check the back knee isn't under strain. You're not spiraling too much. Breathing in, opening the arms front and back. So again, they can't open as much. Then, as you're ready, the back hand comes onto the sacrum, presses it down. Tailbone moves down. The rest of the spine we aim to lift up. Lots of deep abdominal strength, opening through the side of the waist, side of the ribs. Breathing here, we lift up, breathing, lift up, breathing, and then again we pull up through that front thigh, reach into the upper arm, we release the back arm around, back to center, namaste. So then, if you feel that the legs aren't too tired, we can move straight forward into a forward bend. But if the legs do feel tired, release them. Bring them into the center, give them a breather so they're not under strain in a stretched position, because that's very weakened. So it's better to, in fact, much better to release and then come in and just wait. One day the strength will be there and you won't need to release, and it won't be a stress and it won't be a strain. And yoga doesn't mean stress and strain, yoga means union. means harmony. So we're looking for that harmony, not the strain or the stress. So now again, you can see I'm just a little bit moving the legs, just sending the knees in the direction of the toes, just to limber a little bit there. The idea is once again to really open up through the lower back. So I'm reaching my sitting bones and the base of my waist up and back, the tailbone up and back, and the waist moves forwards and downwards. I've got bricks or blocks for support, or you can use anything for support, books or whatever is handy. And again, ideally the weight is staying even between the heels and the fronts of the feet. Deep lift in the abdomen, navel drawing to the spine really lengthens, tailbone to crown here. So a forward bend. If it feels like a good idea, you can always lengthen your upper body really forwards. So opening the sides of the waist, sides of the ribs and the arms, reach forward. There's no weight going into the arms here. Breathing, breastbone hugs to the spine, lengthen the base of the breastbone back in the direction of the tailbone. And then if the arms are extended, we bring them back into a position to give support beneath the shoulders. We're going to zigzag our feet in towards each other, just swivel around and bring the body down onto the mat, into the child, if it feels more comfortable. Support the weight of the head here. In many ways, this position opens the upper back, neck and shoulders more than with the head on the floor, so there's advantages to both positions. And again, simply breathing here, allowing the body to relax, allowing the body to be quiet. Absorbing the energy of the practice that we've just been in. The very strenuous energy of the warriors. The physical energy of the warriors, very manifest. Then behind the practice, when the postures move on from the body, the energy that is left behind, the quality of that energy, the unifying quality of that energy, the pure living presence of that energy. Once again, as you're ready, gently rolling up through the spine away from the child's pose, allowing the spine to lift and lengthen. Let the legs release out from underneath us. We can come into cross-legged position. We can hop up onto a block for a little bit of height. Let's just simply breathe in to flow the arms up, and as we breathe out, passing back down again to Namaste. Namaste in stillness. Namaste. Nowhere to go and nothing to do and no expectations. Simply being in the present for just a few moments. Being with the breath, being in the body, allowing life to live through you. And then again, as you're ready, allowing the mind to move outwards again, the senses to move outwards again. Breathing in, reaching up, stretching through the spine, the back muscles working. Om Shanti Namaste. Thank you for watching this video with Movement Style. I hope that you've enjoyed this sequence. There is another short sequence to follow with balances if you feel like joining in with that as well. But please make comments, let me know how you've enjoyed the video, and thank you for liking and sharing the video if you feel moved to do so. See you next time.